Hey, what's up guys and gals? It's me, your old buddy Mr. Moose, and today we are playing Farm Expert 2017. Now this video is going to be sort of a first look at this game, which released on Steam just a couple of days ago on September the 1st. It's available for $19.99 as its list price. Now as of today, it was on sale for a couple of bucks off, because Steam has a way of doing that. You know, new releases, they'll drop the price a couple of bucks to entice people to buy it. But anyways, I thought today we would take a look at it, showcase the game a little bit for you guys. Now this is released by Plowing. They're the same folks who have done Car Mechanic Simulator and of course this title in the past. This is the latest version of it. If I'm not confused with this and another game, this game came out several years ago under one title and then got rebranded a couple of years ago. But Farm Expert 2017 is the latest version with what they tout as improved physics. They've gone and done some licensing, so now you've got some branded implements in the game and just a lot of improvements that they tout for the game. So we're going to take a look at it and see how it plays and see what you guys think about it, and then we'll go from there. Now I do want to let you guys know I did get a free copy of the game from the manufacturer, so what I'm playing may be a little bit different from what the actual retail version is, but at the same time I do want to be straight honest with you and let you know that I did get the game for free for an evaluation and to showcase it for you guys, but that will not keep me from being absolutely honest with you about the game. But as far as the videos go, here's my game plan. I want to do some of the tutorials for you guys, show you a little bit of the gameplay, and honestly I want to keep my opinions to myself. I'm just going to showcase the game. I'll give you my observations along the way, but that's about it. I'm not going to tell you one way or the other whether you should buy it or not. That's up to you, okay? So let's get started. First of all, let's look at the menu on here. You've got free ride, which that's where you just jump right into the game and start playing. You don't even have to learn anything. You just go for it. You pick a city that you want to go into. Like there's several different towns that you can look at, several different locations, and I think each of these locations has a little bit of a different scenario in which that you farm in. So you pick whichever one you want to go into, and then you just get started. So that's pretty cool. You can also start a multiplayer game if you want to, but basically there's 4 maps on the game right now. Tutorials walks you step by step through some of the activities that you can learn about the game. So if you're a complete noob to the game and you've never experienced any of Farm Expert, then you can go through here and learn how the game operates, what the controls are, and kind of get an idea of the gameplay. And that's what these videos are going to start out as we just experience the game and see how it plays. Join the game is multiplayer. That's how you find your friends online and start a multiplayer game, or go into a multiplayer game. Game options lets you adjust gamma, mouse sensitivity, all of the goodies that you need in there to adjust everything. You can go into graphics options and set up how you want to do your resolution, your performance. I'm on best picture quality. I want to see how good it looks. And then sound options, you can turn the sound down, you can turn the music off. There is music in it. I do have that turned off because I don't want to get a copyright strike on my channel. And then finally, controls. There's not a whole lot of controls to this particular game, but one of the cool things about it is it does auto detect everything that is set up on your computer. So you can go through up here and pick what you want to use for steering. And let's see, you're going to use a controller. Like I've got my Xbox controller hooked up. It will adjust all of the controls for your Xbox controller. If I'm using my Logitech G27, so I can come in here and change things up on it. It would be, there we go. I got button change for that. And let's see if I want to change. Let's see if I can change the button that shifts gears on this particular one. Change the direction. Let's change that, because where it is on the, I don't like using my keyboard for things like that. So as you can see, you can customize the buttons that you use on here based upon what device you're using as well. So now that we've done that, well, that's pretty much covered everything. We're going to start with a tutorial today, and I'm just going to start with the beginning, which is difficult weather and terrain conditions, and we'll run through that and see how that goes. Now, one of the things that is heavily touted in this particular version is improved physics whereas the weather affects the ground conditions. So like if it's wet, then you get really sloppy traction in the game. So we're going to see how that plays out. Of course, it's raining right off the bat, so that's going to be good for us. And then we'll just kind of go through this tutorial and see how things are going. But if you're not familiar with Farm Expert at all, it's got a lot of features to it that I wish were in some of its competitors' releases. You can do animal husbandry in it. There's greenhouses where you just don't plop the greenhouse in and all of a sudden it gives you things. You actually have to go in and work the greenhouses. The husbandry side of it is pretty cool. We'll just go through some of the little small features of the game real quick before we actually get into the tutorial. So as you walk around, you see these little globes floating in the air. These are things that you can add to your farm. Like this is a car shed. You can add it in. Once you add it in, you have options to upgrade it and do things with it. If we run over here, this particular area is a weather station. You can throw a weather station in and you can upgrade it. Then if we come over here and run around, there's other things like your potato and beet storage is back in the back. Your grain silo is there. Your drop off for your grain silo is there. Over here, you can add like a car wash in as well as a petrol facility here. So it's got it just kind of fenced off. So when you do get it, you have a place. This is the car wash to help keep your vehicle clean, which tells you that your vehicles are going to get dirty. Home petrol station allows you to get cheaper fuel. What is this particular one? Agricultural warehouse, a building which holds fertilizer and seeds. And it is possessed from the very beginning, so that's where we get our seed and fertilizer from. This over here is a workshop, and this is another feature of this game that's really cool that I wish were in other games, is you have a way to pull in here and actually work on your vehicle, and your vehicle will take damage. We'll cover that a little bit in this tutorial, so I'm not going to get a whole lot of into it, but so a little bit of the features that are available in the game. So we're going to walk over here and go ahead and start with our tutorial, which the first thing we have to do is get in the vehicle. And you'll notice there's a nice little animation for getting in the vehicle, which is pretty cool. It does rain inside of the vehicle, as you can see. That's not cool. To start the vehicle, we'll go ahead and hit the space bar. And I don't think it started. There we go. It's started now. Alright, so we are started. Change direction with button 22. I think that's camera mode there. Alright, so the driving on this, whether you're using mouse and keyboard or if you're using your D27, it does have that shuttle mode transmission in it. So to go forward, you hit your accelerator or your W key, and then you've got to hit another button. Default is Z on your keyboard, but then I changed it over to a button on my steering wheel to do it. But you have to change direction, so it does have a shuttle transmission, though some people don't like that. But then you start driving along, and yeah, we'll head on out. So for the tutorial, we're just going to follow its directions, and we'll see how things go. We'll see how the driving is, how the vehicles perform, and more importantly, how the weather affects road conditions and if it's sloppy or what. And I'm going to be pretty aggressive on this because I'm curious about the conditions. I do see it bounce around a bit. Bring home the trailer with the beets left behind on a marshy terrain. Alright, we can do that. I ain't kidding about marshy. It's the lake right there. There's a lake on both sides, and this is just high ground in between, huh? Now, one thing you're going to notice right off the bat, notice we're putting down some ruts in the ground when we're driving through it. So the vehicle actually interacts with the terrain and causes some ruts. Hook up and transport the trailer. It may seem a difficult task to perform. I don't know why. The other thing I will tell you I've noticed is that when you connect or when you go to shift gears on the tractors, you have to come to a complete stop or it's not going to react. So don't think you can just slam it into reverse, give it a little bit of fuel, and it'll keep on going. If it's rolling the least little bit, it won't do. All right, so connect up with Q, much like you do in other games. It's pretty simple to connect. There's no real simulation to the connection there. And then we can get on out of here. So I gotta be honest with you, I don't really see any change in how the tractor reacts to pulling the trailer at all. I don't see any slippage or anything else like that. Unhook the trailer. Improved traction is to put a weight on it. The first solution. Weights can be bought at machine stores. Alright. I don't see any. I mean, I'm getting a little bouncing around. My vehicle is not on the ground. I will show you that. I mean, it's kind of floating over the ground, but really not that much on the ground. It bounces around quite a bit on asphalt. I guess this area is either full of water or has gravel or something like that, because it's moving a little bit. All right, P to connect the weight. And again, all the control information is over on the left-hand screen above the mini map. Let me show you the map real quick. Which I kind of dig the map in this game. You can go off the edges of it and scroll the map. So if you have really big maps, you can scroll into other areas just by going off the edges of it. And then I actually went too far off the edge and my sound went away. But here's one of the cool things about this. Let's say we want to look at our field and get an overview and an idea of what a particular field is doing. All we have to do that is mouse over the field, and right there it tells you all the information. It's owned by me, the field area size, soil class, has it been plowed, cultivated, fertilized, sown, is it protected against weeds, protected against insects, protected against antifungal. That's cool. So not only do you have to do a little bit of soil mod with this, but also you've got, as I would guess, you've got insecticide that you got to use, or pesticides, antifungal. You have to worry about the pH in the field from what I've read, so that's nice. But yeah, you can see all the different places that you can go and everything with your map. If you have employees, you can assign them to tasks. Then you get a list of the machinery that you currently have. So I'll show you that. Let's see, mechanics. This will let you adjust the speed of the game, I'm guessing, and what month you're in. Calendar, you can move forward in the game. So apparently you go month by month in the game. This will tell you function calls a mechanic who can partially repair. So I guess if you tear up your vehicle in the field and you need help getting out of the field, you can call a mechanic. During route, if you run out of fuel, you can call for roadside assistance. You can also wait until the next morning. That's interesting. Then you got save, so you can save the game. This screen will tell you a little bit about your animals that you own. What I found interesting is just the list of the animals you have: cows, ducks, chickens, horses, goats, sheep. Again, you can't do animal husbandry in this. You can actually breed, from what I understand, which is very cool. And then you have different stages of your animals as well. Just from reading this, you can see that you can sell adult animals, or at least 1 year old. They are more expensive than purchasing juvenile animals, so that's cool. Buildings, you can see the upgrades that you can do. Like I was telling you, you can put a car shed in, backyard petrol station, car wash, a cattle pen. It allows you for breeding goats and sheep. A cow shed for cows, pens for birds, stables for horses, and then of course your weather station that we talked about before. Up and down to see if there's anything else. Oh wait, there's more. Grain silos for wheat, grain silo for maize, barley, grain silos canola. So everything's just not put into one giant hopper. You actually have to do it. And from looking at this, we can see what grains we have in the game. You've got wheat, maize, barley, canola, pea, and soy. I like the fact they added peas in. It'd be nice to be able to grow some green beans and, you know, Kentucky Wonder peas, Shelly peas. The skills, this is like, you know, for doing things. You get your skill levels. I'm not really familiar with all of this part of it. And then tutorials. So that just gives you a little overview. All right, so let's go ahead and back out of here and continue on with our tutorial. We'll get more into some stuff towards the end of the video. I'll cover brands and equipment that is in the game. There is some cool stuff in this game that is lacking from other games. And you know, from my just experience with it, it'd be awesome if this game was merged with Farm Sim. If you could take the best parts of Farm Sim and the best parts of this game and merge them together, man, you'd have a pretty cool game. But anyways, while the physics and things are supposed to be a little more realistic in this one, I have to be honest, it's still a lot of an arcade game and not a simulator. I mean, if it were a simulator, the little things like backing up to this, I'd have to get out and hook up the trailer. Not only would I have to hook my hitch pin up, but I'd also have to, you know, plug in all of my lines and everything. And you don't have to do any of that in these things. The lines don't even get animated for connecting. So I really don't classify it as a simulator, more as just more of a farming arcade game. All right, so with the weight on there, it's supposed to improve our driving abilities. Notice that the trailer is bouncing completely off of the hitch as it goes up the hill. Things like that I really don't care about. I'm going to point them out, you know. Does that ruin the gameplay? No. But it's, for some people, that is, you know, something they look at, and so I will point it out. I actually think this tractor drives worse with the weight on it than it does without it. Control of the vehicles seems a little sluggish. Doesn't quite respond as well as I thought it would, but it's not bad. I mean, and driving with the G27 sure beats driving with a mouse and keyboard in any game. Alright, so unlock the trailer. Alright, connect to the machine's own and try to drive through a designated path. Alright, so that's telling us we got to go over here and get what looks like, I guess, a potato harvester. Looks like a Grimmy. Alright. I keep wanting to use the same controls I use for Farm Sim to control this tractor. I gotta remember that I don't have all those controls. Alrighty. So let's look at this. Yeah, it's definitely a little potato harvester. Like a little 2-meter rig. Like a rooster. Alright, let's see, we're in reverse. Let's go into forward. And we'll make our way and follow this course they want us to follow. Alright. Oh, back down the road. You can see we're starting to leave a lot of ruts on this particular road here. And the vehicle's actually responding a little bit to them. And you see the tractor. The suspension on the tractor's pretty well modeled as far as you've got that I-beam suspension in the front. Now, again, that depends on what kind of tractor you've got. You know, if you've got independent suspension or I-beam suspension on it. This particular one they got it modeled as an I-beam. Some tractors these days actually have independent suspension. It's not a real common thing, but there are some that do have it. But it's good to see that there is suspension on the tractor that actually works. Alright, second day way to deal with a difficult situation is to purchase A tractor with higher power. Okay. Unplug the machine. And then I gotta park it over here. So I guess we're getting into this tractor next to us. Alrighty. Pull up over here. Lower the tractor. Lower the tractor. Lower the front. Okay. I guess we're supposed to disconnect the weight so we can use it on the other tractor. It was P to connect it, so I guess, yeah, P undoes it. I should probably back up and get out of the way of it, so let me do that. Here we go. And we'll move over here. That way we have access to that. Boy, it just continues to rain. I don't see any puddling or anything else like that that's happening from the weather. But again, the weather is supposed to affect your fields and such, so I don't know that I see any puddling. Shut that off. All right, then when we get out, there is another animation for getting out of the tractor. All right. Actually, I think I hurt my guy. He just kind of coughed at me. All right, let's get into this tractor here. All right, different machine. We'll go ahead and connect the machine. Let's pick up that weight first. I mean, I'm just assuming we need it. Now, I did do another tutorial on just to kind of get the feel of this game. I did the tutorial on plowing or sowing the field already, just to kind of get a feel for it. And whoa, that's a quite a jerk to put that on there. And I've driven this tractor before, so I know a little bit more about this tractor, which brings me to another really cool feature of this game versus some of its competitors' games that I wish were in there, and that is this tractor has a gearbox. Now you're going to see when I start driving it. We'll switch it into forward. If you watch down on the right hand side, with a proper counterweight you can carry plowing. Yeah, so that I didn't get all of that, but it said something about plowing. I'm guessing by having proper counterweight I can actually plow better, so I guess picking that weight up was a good idea, right? Alright, so the cool thing about this tractor is it has a gearbox. If you look down here on the right hand side where the speed is and the RPMs, in between the two of which you'll notice when I hit F I change from 1A to 2A. If I hit again 3A, 4A, and I'm starting to pick up some speed, right? 5 and 6A. So it does have a gearbox in it, and using F and V I can actually switch up and down between the gearboxes. So kind of cool. The other thing I've noticed about this game is when it rains, it really just washes out all the textures and everything just kind of looks junky. It doesn't look, the map doesn't look as good. Like this hillside just gets a lot of black, and I don't know, the textures just really morph into something completely different when it's raining outside. You'll see, because I'm sure the weather will change on us, as it did in other tutorials I've done. So we're headed over here, and we're going to work in the field. So I guess maybe we're going to harvest a little potato. Or are we plowing? I see a plow here. Unplug the machine. Alright, connect to the plow. So yep, we're plowing. So we'll pull over here. The other thing I know about this, because I did a little plowing with it before, when you go to back up, make sure you switch your gears. all the way down, because even though you change gears on the steering or with the V key, it doesn't change the gearbox, so you can go way back way fast. Alright, Q to connect. Alright, and then we're plowing. I guess we just plow straight forward to do the tutorial. Let's change gears. And again, you gotta come to a complete stop before it will transition into the other gear. Alright, so let's go ahead and lower down our plow using R. We'll start plowing. Let's take a look at what our textures are in the field. It's there's not really any noticeable texture. I mean, I can see the ground's changing, but I'm not seeing like good furrows there. The vehicle is wanting to pull to the left as I plow, so I'm having to counter that with quite a bit of right steering wheel. There we go. And I'm plowing in first gear, so trying to keep a straight line going, but I'm starting to veer off to the left a little bit. Yeah, I'm pulling a lot to the left. Really have to fight that quite a bit. Alright, well, weather changed. Alright, so R pulls us up. As you can see, the texture difference between the plowing and the field, not that noticeable. I mean, it's not that, what's the word I'm using for? It's not as different and defined as you might expect or you might be used to in other games. So, alright, gonna back up and rotate. Or plowing again, change gears, and I'm going to do this just like I would in real life with this size plow. I'm going to pull up here, I'm going to drop my front wheel into the furrow and do that. So we'll drop in, and you can see, well, if the camera works right, you can see the suspension on the front reacts to dropping it into the furrow. Now the back, of course, is rigid. And where I say with arcade game versus simulator, here's a great example of it. In real life, if I go to plow a field and I start on a flat field where the tractor is flat and level, I'm going to have my plow flat and level. I'm going to drop it in. I'm going to make my first pass. And I'm going to leave this big, huge furrow right here that when I go to make my next pass, I'm going to start plowing with my wheel inside the furrow. And it's going to roll the dirt over as I plow from the mudboard over into the furrow and fill it in, and that will transfer the empty furrow all the way over onto the right side of the tractor, right? But because I'm sitting in the furrow and the tractor now is tilted down, I would get out and I would adjust the stops on my plow to where the plow still is level and the tractor stays in the furrow tilted down, but the plow needs to sit level. And they don't do that in any of these games. So that's the reason I say it's more of an arcade game than a simulation, because you don't ever do any of that stuff in this. And I'd like to see you adjust your plow now to set level, and while your tractor's sitting in the furrow. So that's just one of those things I thought I'd point out. That's nothing against the game. That's just an observation I have of all simulator games. Alright, so the plow's in now. We're going to start driving forward. And we're in first, pulling. And we should be able to pull pretty good. And you can hear the tractor just kind of struggling a little bit, plowing, which is cool. Now, the tractor should just stay in the furrow the whole time. I shouldn't have to fight the tractor to stay in the furrow. You should have to fight the tractor to get it out of the furrow. And one of the things I noticed when I did the planting scenario is you fight the tractor to stay in the furrow more than you do fight the tractor to come out of it. It wants to just pop right out of that furrow, and I think that's part of the physics. The physics is a little too aggressive with making the tractors bounce up and down. My understanding from some of the people who played the beta is it was really bad in the beta, but you can see that you're getting a little tire slip, and you're having to fight it a little bit as you plow. But I'm not being overly aggressive with it because I want to try to keep the tractor in the furrow and be able to plow some sort of a straight line. If I don't, and I'll show you that in a second, well, I gotta go over here because I'm supposed to hit this little box over here. We'll go over here and see what it has to say. Atmosphere can have an impact on the soil and this unstable driving the tractor during operation. Okay. So what's next? Is it going to rain again? It was definitely a different driving condition plowing in the dry than it was in the wet, though. It seemed like it was more aggressive dry than it was when it was wet. When it was wet, we just plowed straight on through there. Third way to improve mobility of a tractor is to add twin tires to it. Okay. So let's spin around here. Go ahead and shift gears here up so we can rotate on around. We'll hit this one. See what it wants us to do here. Disconnect the plow. Alright. Which is easy enough. Alright. Tire change takes place at your home. Is that workshop? Alright, so let's go ahead and accelerate. Changing our gears, so we're gearing up to run a little bit faster. Or buck up to 6A so we can get this thing to max out at about 24 kilometers. Alright, and we are headed over to the workshop, which is cool. Because we should be able to pull in, I should be able to show you some of the maintenance stuff on this. Which is an aspect I really would like to see implemented into other games. Instead of paying monthly fees, I'd rather see you have to do just routine maintenance. Alright, so now that we're in the, press enter. Ah, cool. Alright, so you're going to see here, this is your workshop and how you maintenance things. If I go in here, these arrows on the side, I can cycle through the things that you can actually maintenance. So like, select to repair engine oil change. Engine wear affects the power of the machine. And you can see what percentage of consumption you have on there. Right now, everything's at 0. The next one is your gearbox. Consumption of a gearbox affects the speed and acceleration of a machine. So you'd have to repair that. Steering system. It affects the precision of your driving. Bearings, worn bearings slow down the engine, increase fuel consumption. Let's see. Electricity, faulty electric affects the quality of work and the efficiency of the machine. Your brakes, defective braking systems affect safety and efficiency of the machine. Tinsmithing, specific, let's see, specifies wear and rust of the body of the vehicle. That's cool. I'll tell you what, the tractor I just recently bought, it rusts really bad. It's amazing how bad it rusts. Not so much the body, just the bolts. So alright, tinsmithing it is. And then what else we got? Now we're back to the engine. So that's it. So those are all the things you can maintenance. And then down here you can do other things to it. So insert tires. So there's the duals on it. If I click it again, it goes to road tires. Then back to standards. And then back to duals. Install the jack. I wondered what that meant. So I clicked it one day and it actually puts a lift on it, or a loader. So they call that a jack apparently in the game, but If you buy one at the dealer, they're going to call it a loader. Do you want to buy a loader? And what's the name of that loader? It's like a loader 100 or a loader 300 or loader 5. But anyways, in the game it's called a jack. But you can add that or remove it. That's pretty cool. And that's about it for the maintenance. But it's nice that they added something like that into the game. I'd like to see that implemented in some of its competitors. Maybe it will be. Alright. So let's roll on. We'll head back to do our tutorial. So got us going back to the field now. I don't think there's anything to turn the beacons on. I didn't see anything in the controls. For those who love their beacons. Lights is L. Change direction of hooks to discontract. Lift the front. Start the PTO. Map. Camera. So the only thing is L. So let's see if L has any effect on it. Nope. Got nothing to turn on the beacon. So those of you who are wondering if those are modeled. You just got front rear work lights. And running lights. Alright, so I imagine we're going back here to plow a little bit more. So let's back up to this thing and hook back up to our plow. Connect to the plow. That's what I'm working on. Connect to the plow. Can't connect to the plow. Okay, let's see. Go forward a little bit. So I can square up on the plow. And we'll try again to connect to it. Oh, I shot over it. See, this is the thing about being in 6th gear, trying to back up. When you switch over, you're still in like a really high range, and it wants to just run on you. So let's lower that speed down so we can get in here, get connected up. There we go. We got our plow connected. Another little thing I noticed, like I'm not even connected to it, and every once in a while I'll see the tractor just move around a little bit. So wants us to plow again, I'm sure. So let's go ahead and roll around here, which is fine. We needed to be in low range. Alright, so the last time, remember, I plowed in first or in the lowest range. I'm going to plow in a little bit faster range and see how that affects. And again, I really tried hard to keep it in the furrow the last time. This time I'm just going to plow aggressively and see what happens. So let's rotate around so that we're actually plowing properly. We'll pull on in here a little bit and drop that plow down a little bit. Alright, and we're still in first. I'm going to switch up a little bit faster. Second. I can plow in third. Actually doing a pretty good job of staying in the furrow. It's wanting to climb out though. I'm having to fight it to the left to get it to stay in. So yeah, it's pretty good. Alright, so let's raise that up. Try to work for a while. Something. Those don't stay up a whole lot. And I'm guessing it said plow some more when it says try to work for a while. I guess the weather conditions are going to change again on me. So I'm wondering if you have seasons in this. I'm wondering if you have snow, things like that. I mean, it's September in the game right now. I'm wondering if, like, when you get into December, if this rain turns into snow. That'd be interesting, right? All right, so drop that back in. See if we can keep this furrow again. Really steering to the left on this. Which one would think it would be pulling me to the right. As much as I've got out there dragging it. Maybe it would pull me to the left. It wouldn't want to climb out of the furrows though that easily. It really wants to just come right on out. Alright. Roll around here and hit the old cross. See what it tells us to do next. I really got to be honest with you, I couldn't tell much of a difference that time in plowing based upon the weather conditions. Maybe it was a little easier to plow. Did it just tell me anything? I didn't see anything. I hit the spot. Am I supposed to go somewhere else, game? Oh, congratulations! This tutorial has been completed! Oh, we're now a certified wet weather plower. Alright, cool. So, we've done that. There is a little bit of pulling in the field now that it's raining. I was talking about that earlier. We do see a little bit of... Hey, can I not walk around? Did I just break the game? E to enter. They didn't want to let me walk around. Try that one more time. There we go. So yeah, you got a little bit of water effect on the field. Like this area is dry, but you've got some pooling over here. Not a ton though. And when you walk, there's no effect of you walking through the mud. You know, I heard somebody say it was sort of like Spin Tires meets Farm Sim. I don't see that. It's not that sloppy. I don't think in all honesty, I don't think the physics are that awesome. I mean, if we had plowed this and it was raining, and this is compacted over here, and this is just plowed and raining, the tractor would sink into it and it'd get kind of sloppy. I mean, let's back her up, put the tire in the furrow. I can't. I think it's just too easy to jump around. So the physics, I don't think they're that awesome. I mean, there is some reaction to when you're driving and stuff. You know. Wonder how sloppy the water is. Well, let's see if you get stuck if you drive into water over here. Because this has got to be some deeper water. It looks like a pond. No reaction. Where can I find something muddy and sloppy? That's like a field of wheat. Is this muddy and sloppy? It's a planted field. It would retain more moisture in it. It should be like really sloppy. Nope. Is this field muddy and sloppy? Nope. Oh wait, it's got better textures over here. Wait, is it the direction I was plowing or the color of the ground? Does have better dirt textures over here. I guess the quality of this field is better than the quality of the field that we were plowing. Because this looks more like good topsoil and good dirt. Yeah, where the other one looked like more sandy clay. How cool would that be if you could simulate that? Like, if a game put differing soil textures in there to where you had to put different amenities into the soil to make it a better, you know, planting substrate for you to go into. One thing is, if you got your plow down in the ground, the one thing I do like about the physics on this is you don't think you're going to just back up if the plow's in the ground. It's not going to. it's going to block you and not let you move. And you can't just run over everything. Everything has some mass to it. So like if you're baling and you have a bale out in the field and you just, you know, it's in your way because you put it down in the wrong place, don't think you're just going to run up and hit it and it's going to roll out of the way like it does in some other game. You're going to hit it and it's actually going to go, oh, by the way, I weigh 1,500 pounds. And it's just going to sit there, which is what it should do. I mean, bales roll some, but they don't. Yeah, I went over that way too easily. There's a little bit of bouncing, a little bit of ground feedback on it, but not much. Alright. So I'd love to move out of this tutorial and do another one, but I can't. There's no way for me to move on. If I hit resume, it just brings me back into the game. So with that in mind, I'm going to ride down here instead of canceling the game out and starting over again. I think what I'll do for the rest of this video is I'm going to drive right down here to the machine shop and give you guys a look at some of the equipment that is in the game, so you guys can get an idea of what's in the game. Because one of the cool things about this game that I see that I really want to experience and I want to mess around with is like the greenhouses, the work in the greenhouses, and the orchards, because it's completely different machinery in the game for using those particular items or those particular aspects of the game. So if we come here to the machine shop and we open it up, we're going to get a look at the equipment that is available in the game. And this is the only way I know to do it for you, because I can't go out and buy all this stuff and play with it, because you're actually going to have to do some gameplay. So I haven't done that yet. So tractor wise, we've got some just generic stuff that they've gotten in here. The Galadon, I guess is how you pronounce that. But you got some variant tractors. This one's like 200 horsepower. This one's 80, so a real small little tractor for you. A little, you know, work around the farm puddler. Then you've got your Alta, which is 160. The Alta 700, which is 180. We've got the Winston, which is the first tractor we were in. That's a 160. Blender the Eagle is 180. The Blender 715 is 250. And then the Blender 123 is 360. Then you've got some branded tractors. Here's a McCormick MTX 150, which is 141. They've got that listed at. The McCormick X7, which is 175. Then you got the Landini, which is the one we were just driving, at 188 horse. So that's kind of cool. Harvesters, again, generic harvester here, the Gladion. Capacity 5,600. And then headers for it. Hey, a ton of headers for it. 7.6 meters, 5.5 meters, 6.8, 7.7, 9.2. Just tons of different ones. I guess there's some different little things built into some of these. I'm just reading about the power flux. The free flux construction ensures rapid harvest, but a significant loss of grain when mowing. Whereas you've got the power flux construction throws stones during mowing, increasing the life of the header. So that's interesting. Each of these has got some different variations. Dynamic far-fetched construction, ensuring the minimum loss when mowing. That explains why there's a million headers in here. You got corn headers in here, 12 row, 6 row, it's like a little 8 row. Then you've got a different variation, holds more capacity, 7,000. This one over here, I don't forget, you got to do this to go, is a different version for 5,000 capacity, and it's got different headers on it. It's got the old free flux construction as well. Hour flux. Let's see, what do you got? You got a bigger one. This is the 7000 version. Then you've got this Carl Nabstrupper, 12,333, so a bigger one. And it's got the same type headers, the free flux and the power flux. Dynamic far-fetched. Foreign headers. Then we got a generic a forage harvester here for you with the corn head for it. But we don't have any attachment for doing windrow or mowing or a cutter head for it. So, strictly corn. So that's our harvesters. Then we come over to our trailers and balers, tippers. You got your Kremp, which we're all familiar with. The big body 460. So you've got a, let's see, we got a 1400, 1600, 1600, 2800 on those. And then we get into some dollies over here. 8100, 1400, 1800. Then a rigid, another tipper here. It's 1400 liters. Then we get into our SIPMA, 1600 on that rigid, and then you've got some dollies here, 6281, and the old familiar Agroliner, one I can't stand. It'd be interesting to see how they modeled the physics on this, if you can back up the tipper really easily, like you should be in real life. The Brantner trailers, we're all familiar with those. Then we get into some of our baling technology. The Findle there, which why that's not listed as a brand. That's interesting. And then this is just a generic baler here. This is a square baler for straw and hay. That's your round baler here for doing straw, hay. Let's see, what else? I'm just kind of reading some of the stuff on it, see if there's anything special about them. Here's your Kuhn round baler for straw and hay. The SIPMA baler. We'll get into more of that baling stuff. I'll tell you a little bit about baling when we do the demo. Baling trailers. Then we've got some forage wagons on it. It'll be interesting on the forage wagons to see if they model like the blades fatiguing, if you've got to replace the blades on them, or if you've got like your Silex that you put on it to help with it as a preservative on it. That'll be interesting to see. Then you've got your auto load trailer for bales. Another bale trailer here. Another one. So several different baling trailers for you. Let's see. And a lot of the descriptions, you'll notice some of it's got some weird words in it. It's interesting. At first they weren't going to do English translation on it, but or from what I understood, they weren't going to do English, but everything is in English now, so that's good. But I think there's still some words that aren't translated over, you know, or maybe that's a word for something I just have never seen before. For tillage, you've got several different plows you can choose from. Most of these are all off-brand generics, but then you get in some Vogel, and then you also get in your Pottingers in here. You got rippers in here. You know, if you had really hard ground, that's cool that they added those in. SIPMA, but you've got some ground, you know, some chisel plows with sole finishers on them, which is nice to see. Again, another, you know, I guess they're going to consider these cultivators, but they're all in the tillage area. So you can see, just, you know, again, getting in your Vogel. Alright, that gives you a look at the tillage. See, this is more of a disc tiller. This is more of a cultivator to me. and the other is more of a chisel plow. Let's see. That sort of looks like a... What is this? This looks almost like a rotary. Yeah, rotary cultivator. This looks like a power tiller to me. They're calling it a rotary cultivator. But it looks more to me like a rotary tiller. Power tiller that you would put on the back of a tractor to break up the ground. I've got one for one of mine. Then you've got a Vogel rotary stubble cultivator. One Pottinger. A Cultipacker. A couple of different versions of Cultipackers. Cool. That's one thing I think is missing from Farm Sim is your Cultipacker. For rolling, especially when you do beans and such. To roll over the ground and smooth out the ground so you don't have any ridges or anything else like that on the ground. Alright, so planters. We've got, you know, just a myriad of planters in here. I'm not even going to bother with them. Just kind of scroll through and let you see the amount of machinery that is in the game. They've got quite a bit of it. Seed drills. Large, small, whatever you're looking for on there. Fertilizers. You got your dry spreaders. Manure. Slurry. Another dry spreader. Another dry spreader. Slurry. More dry. Automated spray or a motorized sprayer. Then you've got a hitch sprayer that you can put on, and then the reservoir tank for that. Tow behind sprayers, smaller and a large version. Moving on to potatoes and beets. You've got a beet harvester here. Another, so you got your like 4-meter rig, pull behind, and then a self-propelled. That's the word I was looking for before. Oh, this is a cool one. This reminds me, you know, we have a lot of Spudnik equipment, and this reminds me of some of the Spudnik equipment that we have with this Voss Ragno for a digger. That's sort of like some of the Spudnik stuff. Vossa Gamble. So multi with a severing tape. I don't know what that is. Anyways, another mechanized version or a self-propelled version. Pretty much just like the Grimmy. And then you got your Grimmy potato harvesters in here. Orchard equipment. This is what I find interesting is all the orchard equipment that's in here. You've got your sprinkler systems that you can use. You've got your sowers. Then you've got your harvesters here. Self-propelled stuff. Different versions of it. I mean, this all looks cool, and I want to look at that. That's really what I want to play in this game is the orchard stuff. A little mower though to get in between the orchards. Then you got like a bush hog here for mowing. What is this? This is a trimmer for shrubbery. Then we've got another bush hog here. They just call it a grass mower, but it's like a bush hog. Then we got like a flail mower, I'm guessing that is. Yeah. This looks more to me like a forestry mower here. It's called trimmer for shrubs and trees, but that looks like a forestry mower to me. So the way it's set up, and you guys have seen me in my videos use something similar to this, so you know what I'm talking about with a forestry mower. To grind stumps and stuff down in some of my videos. Platforming for collecting orchards. You'll see these a lot in like date farms and or you'll see them more in like orange farms, apple farms, things like that. I've seen some places where they string grapes really high. They'll use these for working on those. The collection's a completely different apparatus, but you got plenty of different wagons for doing harvesting. This guy's for planting, you know, you ride on the back of here and you got your little stems to plant trees with. This is a sprayer for your greenhouse. And what is this? This is an orchard sprinkler. And then you've got your specialized tractors for using in the orchards, which is cool. And then this little electric platform truck is kind of cute. So anyways, you get an idea of the machinery that's involved for just that. And then we got some bell wrapping technology here. Bell wrapper, and then another bell wrapper, and some weights. Mowers. It's just some off-brand mowers. Then you got your wind rowers. Tedder. Some front mowers. Another wind rower. Another tedder. Pottinger mower. You guys are all familiar with that. Little telehandler, and then you've got a header trailer there. And then mods. That's the other thing. There is a workshop that's been added in this version of Farm Expert 2017. So now you can start doing mods within the game. So that's kind of cool. But that gives you an idea of the machinery that's involved in the game and lets you see that. So, but that's about it for today's video. That'll give you guys your first look at it. You'll see a little bit of the performance, get an idea of the graphics, some of the gameplay, how the physics engine responds, and you know, it's like taking that bump there, everything jumped a little bit. That's kind of cool. And yeah, I mean, it looks pretty neat, and we'll see what happens as we get into some more gameplay. Let me know what you think of the game. Let me know what you think of the video. You guys want to see more, let me know, and we'll move forward. Like I said, I'll do some more of the tutorials for you guys, and we'll go from there. So the only way I know to get out of this tutorial is actually cancel the game out. So we'll go ahead and wrap this episode up. I'll say thank you very much for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. Thanks for all your support. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, stay safe. Have a great day, guys. See ya. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, I hope you consider giving it a like, maybe even sharing it with your friends. It does help me out a tremendous amount and is greatly appreciated. Also, leave some comments down below. That's really the only way I can gauge if you guys are enjoying what's being put out. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want daily notifications. I try to do a new video each and every day. Also, if you want to stay in touch with me and find out what's going on, our social links are down in the bottom left-hand corner. Twitter is where I usually announce schedule changes, live streams, and new video releases. Facebook's a great way to get in touch with me if you have any questions to ask. And of course, I am trying to get to 1,000 followers on Google+, which I know I'll probably be old and gray before that happens. But if you can jump over there and follow me, it would be super awesome. So if you like today's video, there's a whole lot more content on the channel. I hope you'll browse through it, find something to keep yourself entertained until the next video or live stream. Speaking of live streams, I try to do them nightly around 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until the next time, thanks again for watching. See you soon.